Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where I have accepted a couple of new viewer contracts here. So let's go through what we have available right now. We have from Jared Williams, the Melted Ice Cream contract. This is to land on the dark side of Minmus and collect a surface sample. Now it feels a little bit odd to do it right now since we've already landed on Minmus, but I do like the concept of this contract quite a lot, where we don't want to land on the day side because we don't know if it's sticky or not, and we need to find out if it'll be all sticky and melted ice creamy. I like the contract. It's a little odd timing-wise, but we'll combine it with another Minmus thing, I think, going forward, because just landing on Minmus at this point is a little bit, not particularly interesting. But I love the contract concept. So we're definitely going to do that. We've still got this Duna outpost. We'll get to that a little later on, probably after our Eve exploration stuff. But then we've got Robin Pattenall giving a fix to our Moon Cheese contract by 4T4T. So this is a really interesting one here. Werner von Kerbin is on the warpath after receiving a report from Solil Kerman that there wasn't enough power on the outpost to run both the snack heater and the lights at the same time, let alone the mobile processing lab. A quick check showed that there was also no way that the transmitter could be powered and send a full set of data from the lab back to Kerbin. So we need to send a mission to fix these volunteers, and if we need engineer as crew, Werner has said the one that made the design mistakes is volunteered, and we can bring anything else we think is missing. So the contract will result in the outpost having enough power generation to run at full rate throughout the lunar day, defined as Kerbal being reasonably over the local horizon, don't worry about dusk and dawn, and batteries holding at least 3,000 electric capacity to power the transmitter to send 500 bits of data. Okay, cool. So that is definitely something that we can work towards. And for now, let's hop over to the Moon Cheese outpost. And let's take a look at what we currently have there. So that's out over here right now. And I believe it's currently on the night side, if I saw that correctly. But we need at least 3,000 power storage. And I want to increase the amount of power generation on it as well, as long as we're out there. So that's basically what we need to do here, correct? Just double checking the requirements here. Run at full rate during the lunar day. Yes. And thanks. Apparently my Stream Deck has an update available. That's fantastic. So the question that I have right now is, if we stop this research, and because we currently have basically no electric charge here, right? Let's warp till morning, which will be here in a bit. There we go. So, I mean, our solar panels are a bit awkward for the sunrise sunset. We could definitely do something about that. The question that I have right now is, if we are starting our research here, yeah, we're draining by 2.5 right now. That's not figuring if we are transmitting with our Communitron. So we need more power generation and more power storage on this thing. So let's head back to the Space Center. And let's design ourselves a bit of a craft to head out here. It's not going to need much. We can probably modify it based off of our current Minmus lander that we used for the last mission. Although I would definitely ditch the rover. We would not need that. And I would go back up to quad fuel tanks for landing on the moon. That's for sure. Beyond that, we can probably bring largely the same thing. So, actually, before we do this, I want to check to see, can we get any more ground stations? Because I wouldn't mind setting up some lunar ground stations, or I guess mooner ground stations. That would be a interesting thing to bring along as well, and kind of kill two birds with one stone there. So, do we have any access to any of that here? The Communitron and the passive seismometer, I suppose. That also gives us access to the magnetometer and the seismic accelerometer, both of which seem interesting. We can definitely take that, and then we can grab Gigantors, and then we could take even some scanning tech here and grab the atmospheric fluid spectrovariometer. I believe that requires an atmosphere, but we can definitely bring that along as well. So that is a good start here. Let's hop into the VAB. And what do we got here as far as design goes? So let's open this on up. I want to grab the combined Minmus lander here. We're going to modify it based off of this. We're going to remove the rover. That is unnecessary for this contract. And I'm going to call this the... well, it's your job to fix it, huh? Okay. That's quite a contract name. Well, it's your job to fix it. Cool. Okay. So we'll save that for now, and I want to grab these guys off of here. I want to go back to quad tanks, like I had mentioned. So something like that. And then in storage here, we do not need these EVA repair kits. We can ditch those. As a question here, what is it like to store Gigantors? Can we store those in here? It's a construction-only part. Okay. So we would need to store our Gigantors, not quad-coupled. I would want bi-coupled Gigantors, and we would store those, like, down here-ish. These are not meant to be extended, for the record. We would detach them once we get there. Otherwise, we've got all of this here. I don't think we need this much power. I think this much power is sufficient. And I would like to go into our cargo here. I'd like to bring a communitron. I would like to bring a passive seismometer. Not that we're going to get a lot of data out of that, but it would definitely be nice to have. And then as far as our power generation here, as long as it's put out by engineers, it should be okay. Yeah, that should be fine. And inside of our service bay, we can include those extra science experiments that we just unlocked. So that would include the magnetometer. I would actually have be like out here. Okay. The seismic accelerometer can certainly go in here if it would attach. Well, I don't want it to be in quad coupling. Can we not? Thanks, I just want one. It does not want to attach over here. Maybe the Gigantors are blocking it with their colliders? We could certainly attach it up here. That's fine. Seismic accelerometer goes there. We've got the atmospheric fluid spectrovariometer as well, and that would need to be put in. I'd love to put that on the bottom. I suppose we could put it like this and try to move it into position. Yeah, that broadly works. Turn off the snapping, and we can probably just place it in something like... There we go. I want to grab it up, but I can't grab it up any further than that, apparently. So we'll just call it good there. That should do. As long as it's not sticking out of the sides, I'll call that good. So now we need some battery power. 3,000 battery power. And where would we want to put that? It would need to be someplace that's detachable, right? So this is a 2.5K. So a 2.5K, like a pair of 2.5Ks would be sufficient. Is that considered a construction-only part, out of curiosity? Yeah, surely we can't get it in there. So that's fine. We're not going to put it in that container module then. So in that case, we would need to have them be fairly easily accessible. This is only mildly ridiculous. That feels more than mildly ridiculous. It would be somewhat easily accessible. The main problem would be lowering it, right? So what if instead we didn't do that? What if instead we detached these hemispherical liquid fuel tanks and we put in 1Ks on each of these? That would be 4,000 battery power. It would be lower and easier to get to. The main question that I have is, can we move these hemispherical liquid fuel tanks on the moon while they're full? Which they may or may not be. We might be able to empty them. We probably can. I feel like that needs to be tested. So let's, I don't want to load craft. I want to save craft. I want to put this out on the pad. I want to make sure that we have an engineer. I don't care who. We're just going to put this over the moon. like very, very, very close to the surface and just have it naturally land, in theory. It might do a little bit of crashing. The only thing we want to check is to see if we can move the hemispherical liquid fuel tanks in the weight of the moon. I don't know if we can do that or not, so I want to run that simulation really quickly here. So all we're going to do is we're going to put this for now in orbit over the moon, and this will be reverted. So we're going to put it over the moon. I don't care where. So we'll just set orbit there for now. And we just want to ditch our parts that we've got here. So we're going to ditch that. That was a little spicier than I thought it was going to be. Okay, I should have thought of that. Luckily, it didn't blow anything up. That simulation could have gone very interestingly. And... oh, okay. That's some staging issues. We're going to need to revert that back to launch, and I'll do this a little bit more cautiously. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm just going to manually do it rather than doing it through the staging. It'll be fine. There's definitely a staging issue there. We can fix that after we revert this. So once again, I'm going to... actually, all I'm going to do is here on the launch pad, I'm going to decouple that. Now we're going to set our position on the moon. I really don't care where. And we'll ease this to ground. We might be at a really weird angle here. We'll find out. Okay. Yep, we are at a bit of a weird angle. But this is fine. We'll just extend this. We'll hop over to retrograde. And we're easing to ground, so we shouldn't need to burn or anything here. And we'll just let this drop. The main question is, once this settles in a bit, yeah, we're going to slide. That's fine. I don't really care too much about that. All I want is Bill to EVA here. Okay. It looks like our max part mass is 0.38 tons. So, if we have Bill EVA and park here, and then we get a Kerbal to assist. Yeah, we're sliding, but it's fine. We get Jeb to assist here. Come on. Come on down, Jeb. There you go. 0.75 tons. Yeah, we can't move these hemispherical fuel tanks. I don't know if this is something that we just can't move in Kerbal construction or if this is a weight issue. But we can find out. If it's a weight issue, then we should be able to move them in orbit. Come on. You can... Bill. Fly back up. Bill. Okay, Bill is struggling here. Luckily, this is just a simulation. Okay, hop in. Hop in. There we go. And we're just going to pop this up into orbit here. I don't care what orbit. This is fine. And we'll have Bill EVA again. Okay. Actually, is it the... It shouldn't be the fuel duct there. Yeah, we just can't move these parts. Okay, so these are just parts that cannot be moved by Kerbal construction. So with that knowledge, we're going to revert this back to the VAB. We're going to have to place these a little bit differently. Why am I placing them here? This is dumb. Why am I placing them here when I can just put them here where the heat shields were? That would work, right? Let's make sure that these are parts we can move. I'm pretty sure they are. I'm like 95% certain of that. And I don't know what we'll attach them to on that craft yet. We'll figure that out when we get there. But for now, well, what are we going to... we should be able to attach them where they're attached here, I think. Yeah, that should be acceptable. It's currently buried in rock, but that should do the trick. Okay, we're going to try this one more time here. This should be a successful attempt here on the simulation. So we're just going to set position on the moon. We really, really don't care where. And we're going to set this on down as soon as it loads in. SAS on, and we'll extend our landing legs. Flip over to surface retrograde. Beautiful. Checking in on our thrust to weight, that's plenty. Okay, so we're going to have Bill EVA then. And he can climb right on down. Beautiful. Oh yeah, this is fine. So this'll work. This'll absolutely work. You can climb back in, Bill. Bill. Bill? Bill. Bill is bad at flying. Okay, that's good to know. So we're just going to have Bill... Bill? He keeps face planting on it. It's because it's sliding towards me. I'm expecting it to be... And it's the thing is at an angle. Okay, let's do this properly. There we go. That'll do it. And now we'll hop in and we'll revert this back to vehicle launch. We're ready to go. Are these the Kerbals we want to bring? I don't think it matters. They are coming back. It says in the contract, I apparently have closed the contract. Okay, cool. Let me reopen that while we're loading in here. What do we got? We've got... If we need an engineer as crew, the one that made the design mistakes has volunteered. So apparently it was Bill that made the design mistake. Cool. So that's good to know. We're going to throttle up, SAS on, and off we go to the moon. But I'm going to double check our staging first. We know our staging's broken, right? We know this for a fact. So that detaches, that fires, that looks good. Yeah, this is where it's broken. We definitely have these detach substantially later. Okay, and then... These are only mildly awkward. We do something kind of like this for now. Okay, staging-wise, that should work. Double-checking our fuel flow. That looks good. I say we get out of here. Off we go to the moon. We got to fix our station. So we're going to have the electricity flow with our two Gigantors for sure, and we're going to have huge amounts of electricity storage. So this should definitely fix this outpost. Let's get ourselves a little bit of horizontal speed as we go up. Cool. So that's going quite nicely, of course. How long do we have on our SRBs here? We definitely are a little overstable. I think that's pretty clear here. Ooh, okay. We're picking up a big oscillation. Okay. We're trying to just lock to prograde right now. We've picked up a big oscillation here. I'm hoping that we get that smoothed out. We've got 10 seconds until SRB detachment. With this oscillation, the SRB detachment could be a little spicy. The rest of this should be okay. It's that SRB detachment that I'm worried about. The oscillation is definitely calming. We're under control. Okay. Our apoapsis height is not tremendously high right now. I'm going to take us over to the horizon, though. I want to get purely horizontal speed from here. Okay. It's trying to pull us over towards prograde, which isn't hugely shocking. And we'll just burn here until about 100 kilometers. We've got about 30 seconds of burn left in these tanks. Cool. Awkward ascent, but overall it ended up working out. I think it's fine. No major problems there. We should probably grab an atmospheric analysis here while we can. So that would mean that we open our service bay, we grab this, and then we reclose our service bay. There we go. Continuing to grab horizontal speed here. Our apoapsis height is now officially in space, so that's great. We are about to burn out here. I think for the moment we'll call this a coast phase. I don't want to burn this engine in atmosphere if I can help it. So we're just going to do something along the lines of this. It's not a huge burn to get us into orbit here, right? And it doesn't matter if we hit the 100 kilometers or not. It's completely and totally irrelevant. So that's fine. We'll position for this burn, but we're still in atmosphere here. So we can't really warp super well. It's saying that the burn is going to start in 18 seconds. This is actually untrue. This number is inaccurate. We're going to wait until we exit the atmosphere before we start this burn. We're at 65 kilometers right now and continuing to climb. This is saying in 3, 2, 1 mark, but it's not. It's not actually time. Once we hit space, this will recalculate. And our thrust to weight will get much better here. 69 kilometers and 70. There we go. And burn is in 1 minute, 10 seconds. Cool. We'll continue to warp here a little bit. I say continue. We'll start to warp a little bit here. 20 seconds. 10. And 3, 2, 1, mark. This one is real. Okay, so we'll get ourselves a little bit of burn time here. About 1 minute of burn. That's not so bad, all things considered. Our thrust to weight is definitely a little low, but we've got plenty of delta V. I'm not at all concerned about that. We could grab our magnetometer report, and I would definitely like to do that. We're going to get a good amount of science out of this mission. It's not bad. We'll keep that, and I want to retract this boom. We're going to collect our data up over here. Beautiful. About 25 seconds of burn left for our orbit, and that's okay. It's a bit of a long burn for circularization, but it's completely fine. We've got more than enough fuel in this thing. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and approximately 0. This is good enough. We're in orbit here, and now, of course, we're going to head out to the moon. So we'll set the moon as our target, and I want to start a burn probably somewhere around here. We are 1.1 degrees off. I want a pretty minimal orbit over the moon because we're going to be targeting a particular location, right? Actually, this is a pretty decent inclination here. Of course, we're on an impact trajectory. That would need to get adjusted. This seems okay. Yeah, I think this is completely fine. I know I said I wanted a minimal orbit, but this'll work. This'll do the trick. Cool. So we're going to prepare for this warp, and that's going to be in about 20 minutes here. Beautiful. Another 10 minutes on the warp. Oh, we should probably extend solar panels, shouldn't we? That would probably help. We'll extend this solar panel. We don't want to run out of power. Luckily, we've got these batteries, and so we've got a lot of power. I'm not extending the Gigantors. We are not intending to extend those. Okay, so let's get into position for this burn. It's going to be about a 2-minute burn. Cool. Almost there. There we go. We'll warp a little bit further here. 20 seconds. 10. And burn time is now. Beautiful. I'm going to physics warp at least some of this burn. We do get an oscillation in physics warp, but it should be fine. Beautiful. And there's the moon. Hello, destination. Yeah, this is looking reasonably fine as far as the oscillation goes. We've got 30 seconds left in the burn. 20. 10. Coming out of the physics warp so that we can hit this a little bit more precisely. It's probably good enough. How are we looking? Okay, that is definitely an impact trajectory. We need to go to retrograde. Cool. So we're going to flip around to retrograde here. Looks like we've overshot it slightly. And this should do. So we're going to start up a circularization burn here over the moon, of course. And it looks like we're on a good trajectory. Good-ish. Probably good enough. We'll see what it looks like when we get there. We'll probably have to change it somewhat, but we've got more than enough fuel for that. We still have 1,000 meters per second in this tank, so no problem whatsoever there. Okay, let's warp on through. We can grab this magnetometer report, and we're loading into the moon. We'll have to grab the magnetometer report on the way back. And yeah, I warped straight through the in-moon high, which is sad. Or rather, the in-space high there. We'll grab our magnetometer report. And I'm going to have Bob EVA and grab an EVA report, since we apparently... I just missed it. Sad. Very sad indeed. I want to collect this data. There we go. And we've got about 40 seconds until our braking burn. Okay. Let's warp on forward a little bit here. 10 seconds. And 3, 2, 1, mark. Beautiful. There's about a 30-second braking burn here. Why is the Science Junior locked? Did we grab data from the Science Junior? Whatever. We can always reset it with Bob, so that's fine. So we're braking here and entering an orbit. Excellent. And then, of course, we're going to need to land near the moon cheese, and we're looking to land very near the moon cheese, for the record. But that seems like a decent next episode sort of thing. So next episode, we're going to land... We're going to get the moon cheese upgraded, and we're going to return these guys back to Kerbin, hopefully all in one episode. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making the video possible, including ALS Gamer, James, Shadow Wolf, and Lohan80, Rogue Corvid, Kentogan, Andy Magar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.